Aye, it's Poku Banks, baby. Today we got another reaction, and this is to CNBC Make It, Millennial Money. So essentially, they follow someone and tell you how much they spend on a weekly, monthly basis. And in this one, this person spends around 227k a year in London, which is close to home. So I thought, I have to react to it. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys want me to react to any more stuff, comment down below. But let's get on to it, innit? Cool.
One of my goals has always been to live abroad. So when I got the opportunity to move to London, it was kind of a dream come true, even though it was somewhat unexpected.
Wow. That is a lot of money per year. What would you do with 227k per year? Income. This is like a politician's income. This is a CEO's type of income. What does she do? But I gotta love it, another black lady doing us proud. I can't lie. That's good stuff.
It's Imani Change. I'm 28 and I live in London, UK.
London's a big place. Where in London do you live? North, east, southwest?
My salary is comprised of both a base salary and stock and investments, which comprises of money that is paid in pounds, but also US dollars. Last year, I was actually promoted to my current role as a senior operations manager, and I became one of the youngest senior operations managers here in Europe at that time.
Interesting.
So I think the biggest expense that was a bit of a surprise for me when I moved here to London is that it is very comparable to New York City. It's very expensive. Renting is not as easy as it was when I had lived in Baltimore previously. When you're looking for a place, the listing price is not necessarily what you'll get it for. They do a whole bidding process to be able to secure a place, and if it's in a high demand area, the price might be very different ultimately to be able to secure the location.
£2,000 a month. Boy, I think she lives in zone 1. Zone 1, and that looks like a small living room. If you guys check that out, a living room is connected to a kitchen. £2,000 a month. Boy, zone 1, zone 2 stuff. Wow.
What they want.
I didn't even know you could even do the bidding thing for such a place. Like, I didn't know you could just do it for renting. I knew it was done for houses and whatnot at auctions, but renting, shit. Damn.
I wanted to see is that I could definitely pay my rent. So I ended up paying the first 12 months up front, and then after staying in the place for 1 month, I paid another 4 months.
You know what? The thing with that essentially is that normally they do that when they can't verify how much money you make, or they can't, you don't have any pay slips to give to them. So sometimes they may ask for 6 months up front, 12 months up front. But damn, 34k up front. She must have a lot in cash. Just to put that out there. That's pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you, But for a job, they must know that she makes a certain amount per month, so it should be fine. I don't know why she had to pay so much up front, to be honest. It's a lot of money out of pocket, but boy, what she paid 1 month, 1 year up front, and then 4 months. Crazy.
Ultimately, that's obviously not something that's easy to do. A big part of being able to do that was getting some support in terms of what my relocation package was. My dad actually had a background of finance growing up, and he always would try to teach me best practices.
Have you noticed that the people where their parents grew up in finance, entrepreneurial spaces, their children are very, very patterned, I've noticed that a lot, It's very, very crazy, and I've noticed that. I feel like the way they teach their children, the way they grow them up, the way they discipline them, it's a lot different to how other parents do it. So that's very interesting.
Is for managing money. Saving, I actually started at the age of 5. When I had my allowance, I had to save 50% of the allowance that I made for college, and it really helped me not only see the value in kind of having this practice of saving some of your income for future things, but it also just allowed me to have a better relationship with money. One thing that makes me a little bit different than many students is I don't have student debt. It definitely was.
She's a student.
Made possible through some of the support of my parents, the saving that I had done when I was younger, and also scholarships.
You know what, actually, when it comes to student debt, firstly, it does not actually count as debt, so it's not on your credit file. And secondly, it's more of a tax. You know, you pay, I think, 9% above whatever you earn over £27,000. So some people may not even end up paying it off in their lifetimes. So don't feel like you need to pay off your student debt all up front. To be honest, it's more wise than not even paying up front. It's like saying, you know, would you pay up? It's just another way of saying, would you pay off, you know, your children's additional higher rate tax band up front? No, you'll let them pay it as they work and achieve more money. So
I actually moved here expecting to be spending more money and...
Okay, I was about to say $21,000 per month. At least half of it's gone to investments. That is very good. That is very, very good.
Having a bigger budget for my day-to-day life, but what I'm finding is that because I'm in a pandemic, there's a lot less stuff to spend money on, entertainment, etc.
Cool. So taxes, damn, that is a bit mad. Taxes, housing, we already know. Savings, that's very good. Miscellaneous, okay. Food, 600. I thought she cooks a lot. I generally thought she cooks a lot. Groceries and okay. Pension. I don't see why she has a pension. Pension should go under savings or go into investments. You know, she seems like she's good. I don't think she needs a pension. Her investments should help her retire for the rest of her life, really. Transport, okay. Utilities and insurance. Interesting. But you know what I'm happy about this? It just shows that investments is where the bulk of your money should be going. You know, when it comes to, you know, investing your money, so 50% to investments, 20% on needs, 30% on wants, maybe, whatever. But investments, I'm glad that's the biggest part of the circle. Other than that, I think I'm good with it, you know. That's a big budget though, 21,000. That's a big budget.
So I actually end up spending about 40% less than what I had previously budgeted for. I would say the UK is a little bit more expensive. The big things driving that is my rent is definitely more pricey when I was living.
London is more expensive. Not the UK, London is more expensive. She lives definitely in zone 1, zone 2. To be paying that much rent for a 1-bedroom flat. You know, if a guest has to sleep in the living room. Yeah, London is more expensive. But the UK, you go up north, everything's a lot cheaper.
Living in the US, I actually Airbnb'd out my 2nd bedroom in the place that I was living in, so that covered the expenses.
House hacking.
Of my housing and my rent. The other thing is that I have to pay something called council tax here, which is basically a tax for the services of my neighborhood. And then
I think the council tax equivalent in the US is state tax. They pay state tax. They pay federal tax and then state tax. State tax goes to you know, the actual states, so California, New York, wherever, and then federal tax, the federal government. So,
and I also find that I pay a little bit more in utilities. My water bill is more expensive here, but outside of that, things are pretty comparable. Some of the other nice surprises is that groceries are way cheaper. You're able to get a good trip with just 35 pounds, whereas in the US, I couldn't get a decent trip until I paid at least $80.
Damn, okay, I didn't know that. I don't know, maybe because the UK is closer to some of the countries that grow these foods. I don't know.
Overall, my expenses are definitely higher here, but it's a big part of just choosing to live abroad and have a different experience. Last year, I became one of the youngest senior operations managers at my company, which is something that was extremely exciting for me, especially since when I started at my company about 5.5 years ago, I always saw this as a role that was kind of unattainable, and I didn't really see people who looked like me doing this work. It was really just...
It's a shame, you know, especially for, like, you know, the ethnic minorities. The higher you go up, the less of us you see, and that's something I'm trying to change with my channel, okay? I don't want to be like that. You know, it's a shame, but, you know.
Figuring out how do I get there? How do I grow within not only my role, but as a leader? And how do I help other people also move into these spaces that maybe they don't see a lot of people that look like them? And that's kind of been a big goal of mine within growing within my career and hopefully bringing people with me.
Again, guys, I'm trying to bring you guys with me. We're on a journey together. Do you understand? On a journey to wealth.
I do have different cash, so I have my pounds here. I then have my US dollars here that I use if I end up back home. I also.
Why is it in that purse though? I mean, like you're not going to use it anytime soon. You're in, it's during the health pandemic. You're not going anywhere.
For my everyday spending, I actually use my US credit card. I'm a big traveler. I actually have.
That's good. I hope you guys understand credit cards are the way forward. You don't actually have to use credit cards and pay interest. You can pay off at the end of the month and build your credit at the same time. So guys, look into that.
A card that has no foreign transaction fee. So I still use it here because it has way more benefits than the credit cards they offer in the UK. So I'm able to get a lot of cash back. I'm able to use my points.
Yeah, that's a problem, Credit cards in UK, in terms of rewards, it's just so lacking. It's so lacking in rewards compared to US ones. Like the US ones, the US people, they can get trips for free. Literally, you get cash back. You get 5% cash back in the US. Literally, you spend £100, you get £5 back. Do you know how crazy that is? In the UK, the credit card reward system and just rewards in general, it's just not the same. It's not the best. It's just a shame, innit? But, I definitely would love to experience that one day.
So overall, I get back about $1,000 a year by using my credit card here instead of using something that's UK based.
So essentially, for her using her credit card on daily expenses, literally just daily expenses, in a year she gets £1,000 back. Do you get what I mean? That's just free money coming back to you. And that's cashback essentially. Cashback. Check that out, man. Oh My Dosh is a good cashback website if you want to check that out. You can basically shop online and then get money back for what you shop at. Essentially, just like that.
Previously, before the pandemic, I would try to go somewhere completely new at least 2 times a year. And I think one of the biggest things that's tough right now is I actually get more time off or annual leave here in the UK. And it sounds like a wonderful thing, but it's actually really hard to find time to use all of it. So right now I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna use the time.
I'll be real, even though, when you're working 9 to 5, you get 25 days off, I don't think you should live life like that. That's what I'm against. That's why I'm so against. Well, that's not the only reason I'm against 9 to 5, but that's one of the reasons why I'm against 9 to 5. 25 days off, you work your ass off for over 200 and something days, 268 days, and, you only get 25 days off? Nah. That's why I believe in making money online, being your own boss. You can take time off whenever you want. If I want to go on holiday, I can go on holiday. I get to decide that. So, again, it's up to you guys.
When I was in the US, I was actually doing a max contribution to my 401k. And they have a similar program here in the UK called a pension plan. However, I do contribute less to it. I only contribute the amount that my company will match. And the main reason why...
That's very good. So essentially, if any of you guys work 9 to 5, essentially what you can do is they could take a percentage of your pay before they even gets to you. So before they even pay you a paycheck, before it comes to you, they'll take a bit of it and then they'll match it. So they'll basically give you free money or double it and then put it into a pension plan, which will, save and invest for you. So when you guys do retire, you can use that and draw that out to actually retire safely and nicely. That's essentially the pension plan. And in the US, the 401k is the equivalent.
Is because I don't know how long I'll be here and I want to definitely have some more control over my funds. Should I move away from the UK, I don't want it to be super complicated to get access to those funds when I'm in my retirement age. I have 2 different things I would say I splurge on. One is sometimes I will get the nice designer item, but that's something that I feel like once you have a staple in your closet, you can kind of just keep with it and pair it with different outfits.
That's a bit crazy. Again, like I said, when it comes to designer, I just believe in moderation, Firstly, she does earn £227,000 a year. So this is actually the target audience of these brands, by the way. She isn't a dickhead that earns, 1K a month and she's spending all her last money on, designer. This is a little bit more different. She has the excess funds to do so. If she wants to buy it, she can buy it. Why not? At the end of the day, it's down to her. She can do whatever she wants with the money. So, but would I do that? Yeah, probably, look, here's how I'll say it. Yeah. If you like something, go buy it. If you have the money to buy something, go buy it. Clearly, she has enough money to buy it. And she saves and she invests as well. So she knows what she's doing. So, but $4,000 on one item, That's a little bit mad. I can't lie. That's a little bit mad.
Now my splurge has become app games on my phone, which sounds really dorky, but there's nothing better than when, especially during pandemic, where you might be just hanging out at home, to be able to play different games on your phone, and they honestly get me with the in-app purchases sometimes. So I'm trying to be better about it. But the one that I'm currently really getting into is one called Redecor, where you basically feel like an interior decorator, but you're not actually decorating, you're just decorating on your phone, so it's kind of fun for me.
That's not a lot. That's not. It's a lot, but it's not really a lot compared to her income. That's not really a lot. But I find that funny, to be honest. I find that very, very funny. I've never been the type of guy to do in-app purchases. I feel like it's a waste of money personally. You know, I barely play games anyway. So.
One of my personal goals is to hopefully figure out how to become a millionaire by 30 and buy a home by the age of 30.
She earns 227k per year. Becoming a millionaire shouldn't be that hard. Obviously, if she saved all her income, she'll get that in 5 years. Obviously, she wouldn't. But with the investment she has now, she's well on her way to becoming a millionaire. She invests 10 grand a month. I don't know why it's such a she's saying it in such a way that it's hard. It's definitely not hard for her to become a millionaire. She'll definitely become a millionaire. She's 28. And then she also become a millionaire by 30. Okay, so she got 2 years. Oh, okay, I see.
D3. A big part of that is me figuring out how to perfect saving money. How can I allow the money that I make to work better for me to make more money? And hopefully it'll give me the opportunity to achieve these things and show people that it's possible. And a big part of that is me trying to just kind of take some tips of how I made it simple for myself. And then I'm actually trying to start a website to help share some of those tips and tricks with others.
But yeah, it was a good episode. In my opinion, I give it a good solid 8 out of 10. Obviously, the in-app purchases and the £4,000 spending on design items, it's a little bit crazy. But, she makes her money. She makes her lot. And she actually, budgets, she saves, she puts some towards her pension in both the US and the UK. And she invests nearly half of her monthly income. Yeah, that's a solid 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, easily. Other than the in-app purchases and the designer, she's good. And she's paying a lot for her rent, I'll be real. But if she also live in such an area, then fair enough, innit? But yeah, man. If you guys like that, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you want me to react to more stuff, just comment down below, request it. And yeah, man, you already know, man. It's Poku Banks, baby.